I got into art college and dropped out, not because I wasn't passionate, not because I was lazy, but because art college wasn't what I expected. Most advice online comes from people who made it, not the ones who didn't. This isn't me saying art college is useless compared to most other artists online. There are real benefits. But if you go into it blindly like I did, you might end up wasting time, money, and even lose your passion for art entirely. So here's my experience, the good, the bad, and what I wish I knew before I applied. I always knew I wanted to be an artist. My dream was to make something I loved into a career. In high school, I took art as an elective, and my full score during my finals solidified that this was the right path for me. I did well at art. I should go to art college. I'll become a professional artist. I joined an illustration course as I wanted to work as an illustrator in the publishing industry. After being exposed to more roles like concept art, the animation and games industry, it felt like a whole new world of opportunity, and it made me more confident in my choice. The art industry will only continue to grow, and this was in 2021 before the AI wave came in. What I thought art college would be and what it actually was were two completely different things. The first reality check, I wasn't as good as I thought. One of the most valuable things was getting feedback from lecturers. It pushed me to improve faster than I ever could on my own, as I had a more experienced eye critique my work. The critiques teach you to judge your work critically and not think it's perfect, as there's always room for improvement. But at the same time, it made me realize how far behind I was. I suddenly noticed the flaws I couldn't see before, which was humbling. From anatomy to perspective to design, everything had problems. You realize very quickly good enough isn't actually enough. Growing up, you're most likely that only art kid in your class. But when you're in college, you're surrounded by people who are just as passionate or even better. At first, it's inspiring, as the journey to your goal becomes less lonely, as you learn from each other and get exposed to new ideas. But you also start comparing yourself, and over time, it ruins your confidence. It feels worse when you're not only comparing with social media, but the person sitting next to you. I remember feeling horrible, seeing my work being ripped to shreds during critique, while other people's works get praised. It pushes you to do better, or slowly eats at you. Another benefit was the structure. The roadmap is already handed to you. Deadlines, assignments, the clear progression. You don't need to guess what to learn next, which allows you to just focus on the work. But the trade-off is that you can't rely on motivation anymore. Art stops being something you feel like doing. It becomes something you have to do. Deadlines don't care if you're tired, stressed, or burnt out. There were moments where I would draw till 3 a.m. in the morning until my hands felt sore. You can't pick and choose. You either show up and do the work or you fall behind. That "I'll draw when I feel like it" mindset does not survive in art college or the industry. Art college is not just tuition, it's materials, software, equipment, even retaking classes if you fail. And all of that adds up a lot. It hits harder if you're from countries like the US, where education fees are already criminally high. Some of my classes required materials that were expensive, that I only used once and never again. If you're not careful, you could be putting yourself under financial pressure before you even start your career. And then there's the art industry, where most jobs aren't stable. Contracts end, projects finish. You're constantly looking for the next opportunity. There can be gaps where your income runs dry. You might have to take jobs you might not want just to put food on the table. You have to ask yourself, can I still enjoy art when my income depends on it? For me, I was already stressed about assignments. What more about adding financial stress to the picture? I thought getting an industry job would be secure, but with the rise of layoffs, job security solely from the 9 to 5 is not guaranteed in this economy. Another thing is that the future is uncertain. AI is making jobs change even faster. Competition is increasing. And worst of all, entry-level positions are being replaced. So you'd have to make yourself more valuable compared to AI. And most companies don't care about the heart and soul of the production, prioritizing profit over actual artistry, overworking and underpaying their artists. By the time you graduate, you might not even get your dream job. Who knows what jobs would survive or how much they'll change? And then, there's something I didn't expect at all: burnout. Not the "I'm tired" type of burnout, but the kind where you don't even enjoy making art anymore. Rushing assignments, extreme stress and anxiety, repeating the same cycle over and over again. At some point, I thought, if I love art so much, why does this feel so miserable? That was the moment where I started to question everything. I knew the path I was on wasn't working. It was scary to give up on my dream, but I had to drop my ego and face the reality that I was incompetent. Looking back, I made a lot of mistakes. I chose art because I thought I was good, not because I understood it as a career. I didn't research the industry. I didn't have a clear goal. I just assumed that if I went to art college, everything would work out. That assumption cost me time, money, and direction. Before you apply to art college, ask yourself these questions. Why do I actually want to do this? Do you feel like your art needs to be something more than yourself, where you feel the desire to work on the next Netflix animation or game? Or do you just want an audience for your art like a personal brand? Most successful alumni I've seen have a very clear goal of what they want to do in the industry. Having that goal helps you overcome the obstacles during and after college. Do I really need art school, or are there other ways? There are alternatives like professional online courses or just self-learning. Am I okay with the financial cost? And most importantly, can I keep on creating even though I'm burnt out and stressed? If you're really unsure, don't be afraid to take a break. It could be a few months or even a gap year. I rushed getting into college and I didn't take the time to explore. Use that break to research, attend courses, online workshops to see if it's right for you. Remember, you are on your own timeline. It's wiser to take the time making your decision than to rush into it like I did. Art college isn't useless. It can push you, challenge you, and help you grow. But it's not a guaranteed path to success. It's not the only way, and it's not for everyone. If there's one thing I learned, it's this: don't choose a path because it feels right. Understand it first, then choose it intentionally. Should you go to art college? Well, I can't answer that for you. After hearing my experience, it's up to you to reflect on your financial situation and personal goals, as well as the state of the industry, before making your decision. Take my story as a lesson to save you years from chasing a dream only to fail. If you're in art school or thinking about applying, let me know what you think in the comments.